Secrets has come up again. So I'm sure that if you're on the internet and have been on the internet for a while, you've probably barged in on things that other delightful people did not really intend for you to barge in on, but they left the links laying around. It's one of those hidden in plain sight things, only they just go openly on the surface web. They leave a link to a chat room or some mumble thing or something that it turns out from their reactions that they don't want you to see. You've probably had a few brushes with them. I know of one forum I used to go to when I was a teenager. It was pretty weird. There was like this, that pyramid shape of society? There was one of these things with the plebs on the bottom and the elite at the top. And they were really cliquish, really secretive. They went out of their way to harass other horrible people that you would ever wish you never met. And if you met them, you have my deepest sympathies. But, oh, no, you've met these people. Well, you've met people like them. They're all the same. Different branches of society, but they're all the same. And they were just so elitist, so cliquish. They were terrible at art. This is like an art community, and some of the elites were pretty good. And when I say elites, I don't mean elite. I mean like rich kids, popular kids. The biggest influencers you're ever going to meet are people that you feel that you could actually meet them, as in you'd see them in real life. They're physically there. They're not people on TV. They're not something you only hear about in media. You can actually see them, and that really changes your perception. I don't really think the Kardashians could actually influence people. I think that real-life rich kids are the ones that influence people. Anyway, so a lot of them were terrible at art. Some of them were really good at it right from the get-go. They said that they were like 18, but I think they were actually older than that. And they were always doxing themselves. Now, on one hand, these people are very secretive. But on the other hand, they're always posting their face. They even go so far as to post their street address. They will post about their job. They will post about where they live, like what city they live in. They'll even leave their telephone number laying around in the open. They dox themselves, and yet they have these private clubhouses on the internet, usually an IRC chat, or at the time it was a live journal thing, but there are these bypass tools that you could use to get a glimpse at what was going on behind locked doors or locked live journals or whatever. They were talking about shoes and lip gloss. Like, they were really open with their faces, their names, their jobs, where they lived, but they were really secretive about talking about makeup and shoes and fashion and shopping trips. It was really backwards, but everything about these people is backwards. These are reversos. And what's also ironic is they can't stand being left out of normal people things. They went out of their way to harass normal people. They would stalk normal people and just bother them without provocation. And if you turned around and said, yeah, well, your art sucks, quit stalking me, they would flip out at you. They had a few internet chimp outs, actually. It was kind of funny. They keep shooting themselves in the foot with their own behavior. A lot of them were really gloomy, doomy, gothic, ooh, I dream about dying every day. Real people do that, but for a different reason, because life sucks. But these were like elite rich bastards that had all these connections, and this is really noteworthy. They were all rich, and one of them that had the shittiest, most horrible art I've ever seen. I'm not kidding, it was like a special needs toddler ate a bunch of crayons and had diarrhea and then put a John Hancock on it and sold it for $1 million. Like, do you know why? That person was always getting commissioned for their horrible art because they were selling Molly. The art was a cover for Molly. I don't think you could call that rainbow furry puke art. Anyway, yeah, think of Jackson Pollock. That was a cover for something. Nobody's buying that because they like how it looks. It's money laundering. It's a cover. You're going to see a lot of that. On a different forum that had a few different layers in an IRC chat, if I were to talk in depth about these things, I'd be here all day. I'm trying to keep it brief. But one of them was a forum was dedicated to analyzing people of particular interest, and they would play psyops on the people of interest and even people within the own community that they considered laughable. They played some games with them, staged some events. If I were to tell you, I'd be here all day, but maybe some other time I'll tell you. It would be difficult to keep it brief, but they had an IRC connected to the main board, and the only way you could get in was send them a photo of your genitalia, and they enforced that rule, but they're pretty sloppy about how they run things, so I took a peek at it a few times, and they were talking about idiot crap. It was really pretty stupid and vapid. I wasn't missing anything. They freaked out and banned anybody who just popped in, even though it was not hard to find out how to get to the IRC. And on the board, they would have these psyops to mess with one person's head. Basically, they would pretend to fight each other. So on the board, I would see these big name posters just pretending to get into fights, and I thought they were roasting each other, and I didn't know what was going on. It turns out they were pretending to have some kind of a falling out conflict because a laughable member of the board really, really wanted to be a mod. I could tell you a lot about that, but yeah, they're pretty socially cannibalistic, and they're really weirdly secretive. It's pretty weird. So the forum had a poor host, so it crashed a lot. And I happened to save the text files, well, the HTML files, and when the board crashed big time and a lot of data was lost, I posted my personal archives, and some of the big name posters that had like 2 posts on the board, but they were active in IRC, they came out and freaked out at me and demanded to know who I was. I was just a person on the board. I wasn't in IRC. It was pretty weird. Then the main admin, who is a bit of a train wreck. If I were to tell you, it'd take forever. It was a train wreck admin. The whole place was a train wreck. They had their own archives of the board, the system archives, so everything was assorted. And that means a lot of private messages were released where anybody could see them on the board, even pleb posters like me. So there's this whole folder of private messages. I don't know from who or to whom, but it kept saying, "I'd like to climb into the secret clubhouse." And I think that would be a secondary IRC channel. I don't know. These people are pretty weird. Now, on another forum, some people just left a link to a Mumble board, and I just clicked on it, put my name as visitor, and just started sitting there and listening in to see or hear what was going on. And on voice chat, I could just hear people going, "Whoa, who's this? There's a visitor. There's a visitor. Shut it down. Shut it down. It's a visitor." And I'm just going, you left the link there where anybody could click on it. They do this over and over and over. There's another event where there was this person on LiveJournal who had 200 mutual friends, I guess, and they forgot to friends lock one of their posts. It was pretty boring and ordinary, so they just leave this rather ordinary rambling post open, and some random person commented on it. It was really benign and fluff comment, like, "Oh, here's a little thought related to your post." And the person who made the post freaked out. I'm talking, he or she spent the entire day dropping F-bombs, screeching accusations, and having one of the most amazing internet meltdowns I've ever seen because, like, I don't even know what was going on. I don't know the whole story, but apparently those 2 people never interacted. The person who made the post was, like, they had these weird friends that were complete jerks and really cliquish, but this person usually was nice behaving on the surface. I had never seen that person chimp out like that. It's kind of hard to explain. You probably don't know these people specifically, but just imagine seeing some person with connections of popular friends and they leave a post open, some rando comments on it, these 2 people never interacted before. OP just starts internet chimping out and accusing the rando of stalking and harassing them and claiming that rando was conspiring against them. I don't even know what was going on, but it turns out OP was basically lying and then went on lockdown and deleted everything and then came back with "Oh, sorry about the drama." It was pretty one-sided because the other person was extremely polite the whole time and really confused. So looking back, I'm going to guess that, what is even there to guess? Like, these people are backwards in every single way. They are inverted in every single way. What they should have as public, they keep it private. What they keep as private, they make it public. I don't even understand, but I'm guessing that OP was a freak and the rando was a normie, and that's it. I mean, that's it. You should have probably seen this a million times yourself, so what do I have to describe? Think back to your own memory. There are some recording skips. It seems to happen early in recording.